What's up, what's up, what's up, people? Welcome back. I want to bring you to the new episode of What Do You Know About a Mortgage, where we're going to bring in guests every week to talk to them. Today, we're privileged to have a guest that I've known for about 5-6 years now.
Probably longer.
Maybe even longer,
Yeah.
going back to 2013.
Yep.
My good friend here, Blake Guinn. How you doing, my brother?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes, definitely. Blake is now with Willow Manor. He's with Keller Williams. He's also a realtor, but he has a plethora of cool stuff that goes on in his life and his family's life, and we're going to dive all into it. So strap in. Let's get into it. So, Blake, thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
appreciate you very much. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm probably what they call a unicorn here. I'm born and raised.
Yeah.
My wife
Very
is also,
much a unicorn. Everybody's so transient here.
Yep. My family's been here since the 60s. My daughter's about to turn 2 next month.
Awesome.
So
That's awesome.
That's my life is real estate, work, and home, man. That's all I got time for anymore.
And you know what? The beautiful thing about that is, unfortunately, what's going on with the circumstance with COVID and a lot more people working from home and being at home is tasking. And I think that we have better understanding of our partners who may have, if your significant other is taking care of home while you're at work and doing things, now you're realizing, wow, you got a lot going on during the day. With the kids running around, now they got to learn school online. You doing work, everything going on at once is very, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Kudos to any parent that actually had their kid home, like doing online learning, because I tried online learning. I couldn't do it. But I mean, like to be able to watch those kids, and then you've got your own stuff you got going on.
Right.
I mean, I was just worried about my kid crawling during COVID. You know?
Right.
that was the least of our concerns. But
Right.
but kudos to any parent out there that had to struggle with that, man, because I mean that's props.
Definitely. And it's one of those situations where we all learn and grow. So coming out of this whole COVID situation, we're just hoping that we get better on and better understanding of what it is to be in the other person's shoes. So there's our spousal support of the day. All right. Moving on next. You're in the real estate now, but before that, I met you at Tycor Title when you were an account executive there.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, that's a title company. And mortgages pair up with those two, and we can farm leads and we build relationships. As you go to title, we get their fees. They're very important and intrinsic in what we do. And you had a great run there. And then I talked to you one day, you were like, Jeff, I'm going to solar. And I'm like, what? So talk a little bit about what took you into solar and how you liked it and all that good stuff.
So my mom is an escrow officer. She's with Rock Title now, but
great woman. Shout out to Debbie.
Oh, good old Debbie Miller. You know, I kind of grew up in the title industry. I didn't really know what else to do. And 2013, 2014, I said, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
It was a toxic environment. I didn't like it. And so my buddy at the time, he was working for Solar City. He's like, just come, man. It's like ground level. We're at Town Square. And, you know, it's a huge call center. I was like, a call center, man? Like, that seems kind of scummy.
Yeah.
I didn't know what solar was. I didn't know what an Elon Musk was at the time. I know that sounds funny, but like, right?
I didn't know who Elon Musk was in 2014.
Yeah, no one,
I'll be
right?
real. Yeah.
And I got hired on the spot, and it was something that I completely fell in love with. The opportunity to produce your own power. You get tax credit to do it. You get to save money. You're producing clean energy. So it's a win-win across the board for everybody.
Sure.
2015, 2016, the NV Energy shut down the industry.
I remember.
So I became a lobbyist, and I started fighting for solar rights. And so we were able to help reestablish the solar industry here with AB 405. And it's something that I'm still very passionate about.
I'm glad you brought that up. AB 405 was an important bill here, and you were one of the people that helped architect or push that bill.
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit more to what that bill actually, the impact it had, and how it helped people?
The impact is, one, it grandfathered everybody in prior to 2016, I believe, that had ever gone solar. So whatever rate that you were on when you went solar, you were protected. And then moving forward, it allowed for continued growth within the solar industry at a fair rate for the homeowner and for NV Energy. And one thing that I think is really important is what I do now is I go around and I help educate other realtors about, you know, how to sell a solar home or buy a solar home.
Right.
There's so many different issues that can arise with it. You know, there was a lot of predatory sales practices back in the day with solar people. And most people don't know, but if you come across, say, like a solar lease, that could affect your ability to get a loan.
I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to actually pivot into that. With mortgages, we actually, if you have solar installation in there, depending if it's a lease or if it's privately owned, we may have to hit you with a debt-to-income ratio, almost like how you would. What's a good way to put that for? Almost like a payment, almost like a regular installment payment, right?
I always tell when I'm speaking with realtors, I always try to use terms like we know. So I'm like, it's like an HOA payment. So if your buyer can afford a $400,000 home, but only with a $50 HOA payment, but they can't do a $100 HOA payment, that's the same thing with the solar. But that's just a solar lease. Because it is like a budget billing. It's a set bill like a utility.
Right.
Or I'm sorry, it's not like a utility, but it's a set bill that they are going to have to pay every single month, just like that HOA.
Now, the reverse of that, where we may be able to educate the customers today, would be the reverse of a lease would be buying it out. Is it like, what was the option? I forget what the word that's on the tip of my tongue.
So you've got a couple of different packages. So you have like a power purchase agreement.
Power purchase, that's what it was.
Yeah, so the power purchase agreement and a lease are essentially the solar company owns them, and you go solar for no money out of pocket. So essentially you'd have two utility bills. Where you're seeing the market move right now is where people are purchasing their solars.
Yeah.
So you can either finance it or you can pay cash for it. The benefit of that is that you're building equity into your home. It's almost like doing an upgrade on your kitchen.
So is it like adding a pool or upgrading, like they're saying, like tile?
Yes, but only if the system's paid off. So let's just say you have a solar loan on your property and you're going to go get an appraisal. The appraiser's not going to add any value to it because you don't own it.
Gotcha.
Now, if you own it outright or you're going to pay it off, then they can add value. Okay. The problem is and it's an educational thing that most realtors don't know kind of a lot about how to run comps on it, and it's the same with the appraisers. It's still so new.
Right.
So we're starting to see a lot of those issues, but I've kind of got it pat down. So yeah, we got it going.
Do you recommend people to at least look into solar versus traditional power grids of NV Energy here in Nevada or anything like that? When they're looking at buying a home, is that something you would suggest, at least maybe doing the...
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're interested in solar, you should absolutely take a look at it.
Okay.
I would recommend staying away from a power purchase or a lease where the solar company owns it, just because you can run into issues in selling the property later down the road. That's kind of what we're seeing right now. So we got about 40,000 homes with solar in it just in the valley.
Wow.
And
so you got to think we're about 2.3 million people in the valley now, and 40,000 people have solar. I could feel the rush of the energy moving towards maybe solar and cleaner energy, as we all know. This is something I would say is not going to be very foreign in conversations moving forward in the next few years.
It's not. So one of the things that we do at Willow Manor is we try to not just concentrate on the real estate market, but all other factors that would contribute to it. So a couple years ago in the Nevada legislature, they passed a bill where NV Energy has to be 50% renewable by 2030. Now they just passed another bill where they're going to have to be 100% renewable by 2050. So clean energy is coming, whether you like it or not. What I recommend is that you take a look at purchasing a system or financing.
That's nice. Who you got in the NBA Finals this year?
Oh, man. Is James Harden going to come back healthy?
I don't know. What's going on with Brooklyn right now? I mean, KD took over last week.
He's on a hot streak.
Not last week, excuse me, 2 days ago.
Yes.
Literally, Brooklyn Nets, for those that don't follow sports as well as maybe some others on my podcast that are going to be watching, Brooklyn lost two of their biggest top dogs, and Kevin Durant stepped in when he was challenged to be the man, was down by 20 points at halftime, and turned the whole game around and defeated Milwaukee Bucks, who have the former Defensive Player of the Year, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I know I didn't say that correctly, but I don't care. That's fine.
He's not a clutch player, man.
Giannis has got to get tougher, man. Come on, Giannis is one of those kids that you look at as they develop, and you're like, wow, he's going to be a stud. And then you see some kid from wherever over the railroad tracks, and he's coming through, and he's tough. And Giannis don't want no part of that right now. Giannis is soft as baby bottoms right now. He's soft as baby tissue, man.
Well, they're not the 76ers, so...
The Sixers are just, I don't even know what to talk about the Sixers,
Let's just blow another 25-point lead.
So with all those things said, what got you into real estate? How did you and Keller Williams and Willow Manor come to partner and say, you know what, I want to now put my experience into helping people get new homes
Yeah.
and helping them complete their dreams?
So a lot of it comes from so my mother being in title for 30 plus years, essentially, a good portion of my life, and where my dad was in hard money, so in banking. So it was really I was always kind of grown up in it.
Wow.
And then when I left the solar industry and left lobbying, I was like, man, I taught realtors what to do.
Right.
I think I could transfer that into my own life. I think I could educate myself enough and do it. I did, and I had my best year last year during COVID. I first partnered up with a guy, Mike McNamara.
Okay.
We were on the Mike McNamara group at Coldwell Banker.
What's up, Mike? Shout out to Mike McNamara, man.
And then we paired up with Zach Walkerleap, who's one of the top, I would probably say, 20 agents in the city.
Wow.
He's a 30 under 30, 40 under 40, and so Mike.
Is he 20 under 20 though?
No.
Come on, man. You got to go 3 for 3. Step your game up, man. Step your game up, Zach.
And so we all partnered together to create Willow Manor.
Okay.
And it's just something that we're really passionate about. It's all about education for us. We take a look at market trends, economic trends. We're taking a look at what businesses are coming in,
Sure.
manufacturing jobs are coming in. Take a look at politics, what just got passed in legislature.
Sure.
We want to be able to sit down with our clients and really just say, hey, when you're going to make this real estate investment, here are some outside factors that could affect it. So
Right.
that way our clients are really comfortable making
Yeah.
that investment. We've got first-time home buyers, and they're now starting to realize, the home search is fun, but now when the money gets down to it, they're realizing how big of a financial investment it is.
I always tell people it's better to educate than to sell, because your education to a person will give them more of a vast opportunity.
Absolutely.
To them, let you ask questions and you can find out their why. You don't have to sell people on what they already know they want.
Yeah.
You just need to be able to listen. And that's one of the biggest things I push a lot of is education over sales. So it's good to hear that you have that experience. And let me ask you, because you have such a great, unique background in the state of Nevada. Your grandfather was the governor.
Yes.
Of the state of Nevada, right? From
Yes.
96 or 98 to 2006?
So Kenny Guinn, he was the 27th governor of Nevada. He
Nice.
served from 98 to 2006.
Nice. And he had a huge impact on what we do here in the state with a lot of bills. And even there's a story out there that he was at UNLV teaching.
He was
president, excuse me.
Yeah, so he was president of the university, UNLV, for 1 year. He took his salary, and he only took $1 of it, framed it, and put it on his wall.
So that's a true story.
Yeah, it's a true story. He
Wow.
took the rest of his salary, and he donated to female athletic scholarships.
The impact of a person is what they do, not what they say. And
Yeah.
your grandfather was that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
shout out to him
He's
and
greatly
that
missed,
legacy.
but, when you talk about mentor, he mentored a lot of people.
Oh, I bet.
And, his thing was all about education.
Yep.
Shout out to anybody who got the Millennium Scholarship. That was all my grandfather getting that
Touch
thing
on that.
through.
What did he set up there?
So the Millennium Scholarship, so if you graduate from Nevada High School with a B average, the state gives you roughly about $10,000 to go to an in-state college.
Nice. And he started that.
Yeah, he started that. Yeah, I
Beautiful.
mean, $10,000 doesn't go like it used to back in the day where it covers all of our college fees except for books. But I think, $10,000 covers just your books now?
Maybe. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's-
not even the room and board per se. You know what I mean? And speaking of that, and the reason that it doesn't go any further, and I want to get your opinion on it, inflation right now is a big topic in the economy in general. And in mortgages, we're trying to figure out, is this an anchoring inflation thing, or is it very short term, and is this something that we're going to see pass? I don't believe we will, with all the money that has been dumped in the economy. A lot of people going back to work in September when benefits end for unemployment, and we know we need people working. We have a lot of employers trying to get people back to work. The inflation impact on people's money. My question to you would be, the buck isn't going as far as it used to go when you're buying your home, and you need to be able to go and sit down with your loan officer, financial advisor, whoever, and speak of that. But in your opinion, do you think that budgeting for a $250,000 home in 6 months makes sense now, or should they be budgeting for $280 because of the inflation impact that'll be coming within the next 6 months to a year?
Well, so I think that's two separate things. So thinking about how the housing market's going to be going up, I don't think is directly driven by inflation rather than supply demand here.
Correct.
With everybody leaving California and the Pacific Northwest. If you're just now starting to save money, I would shoot, if your budget right now is only $250, I think, yes, absolutely. You should probably bump that up to $300.
Right.
And you should absolutely start saving. I don't know what the market's going to look like in a year. You know, with everybody going back to work and everybody coming, but other types of inflation, man, it's way more expensive to fill up my gas tank.
It is, and that's your consumer price index. A lot of the things that go into there outside of food and goods that are purchased, like energy and like oil and things like that, they're all going to have an impact. And I agree with you. The driving force right now behind homes is the supply and demand.
Yeah.
Right. But the inflation impact on that is the dollar, how far it will stretch when people go to sell or to buy. So I think we'll see a little bit of that impact maybe in the next year or two. But we won't know the true ramifications of it until we get people back to work fully. You know, now we're kind of at like 40% work field still.
It's exciting to see Vegas back to life.
It is.
You know, you see all those videos of people being drunk on the strip.
I was one of those guys drunk on the strip. I was partying. Dre's nightclub. What up, man?
It's exciting to see the city get back to life. It's exciting to see people get back to work and find their life again.
Yep.
You know, I think what COVID did was not just, take people's, people passed away, of course, and, there's some economic issues, but, the depression of, like, not having a worth. Like, where's your worth today?
Right.
You're stuck at home.
Right.
And I think that tormented a lot of people.
You touched on it, the mental health aspect of what COVID has done on this it's going to be widespread, and we're going to need to see how it affects the children that have not been able to learn really through Zoom class. I can imagine. I'm too ADD for it. I needed to be in class.
Yep.
Multiple distractions from my homies talking to me yelling at a girl, and still learning. Like that's how I actually learn. And I can't imagine sitting in front of a screen for 4 or 6 hours and just trying to learn. So we're going to have to see that impact, and we'll touch on that later. But as far as you go, is there anything that, before we get out of here, I think I've stole you away for 30 minutes enough. I want to highlight you as much as possible, give you your flowers, and tell you I truly believe in you, and we're going to continue to work together.
I appreciate that. I can't wait.
Yeah, where can people find you? Online and so on and so forth for your business?
So you can find us on Facebook right now while we're finishing our new branding. It's Willow Manor Group. You can find me on Instagram, Battleborn Guinn. Pretty simple.
Nice. Very simple. Very simple.
If you're looking for first-time home buyers, or if you have a solar home to sell, I am the expert in that. If you're looking for commercial as well, we are just digging our teeth into that. Closing my first commercial one right here.
Nice, bro.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's exciting. So, so Willow Manor, man, we're really growing. I'm really excited about the leadership.
Yes, sir.
With Mike and Zach. I think they're building a beautiful product that I think a lot of people will support.
Good.
Down the line. So
I can't wait to be more part of it and help out. And definitely, you already know the Gaylord Hanson team here at Loan Depot, Las Vegas. We're coming to you to make sure that we educate you, to make sure that we put you in the best position to win. And at the end of the day, we want to make sure we have a client for life. But more than a client, come be the homie, man. Come enjoy us. Come learn us. Come talk with us. Come be a part of the community like we are. For Blake Guinn and myself, Jeff Hargrove, we out.